So, how many of you even knew that August the 14th, 2022 is National Financial Awareness Day? Well, guess what? I didn't know either. So you are not alone. But this is the perfect time for you to review where you are now and where you are going financially. So in this video, I am sharing some tips and recommendations of things that you should start doing today to make your finances top priority and to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Hello everyone, I'm Kimberly. If you are a subscriber, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I hope that you find this content helpful, and I would love for you to drop a key emoji in the comments to let me know that you are new to the channel. On this channel, we talk about ways to unlock your financial freedom by incorporating planning, productivity, and personal finance into your daily routine to level up your life so that you can live a life that you deserve. Now, let's get into the content. And I want to start by saying financial awareness for me is not just one day, it is not just 1 month, it is every single day. And it actually should be a whole movement. I only wish that I knew now, or I only wish that I knew then, way back when I was younger, what I know now. I feel like, of course, my life could have been totally different if I knew half of what I know now. So again, I think financial awareness should be something that is talked about every single day and that we have in our lives every single day. So I want to start by just sharing some recommendations of what to consider as we go into Financial Awareness Day, August the 14th. And the first thing on the list is saving, you guys. Start thinking about a savings plan and how you want to save. And of course, my advice would be to start with an emergency fund. And it can be small at first. And then as you move forward, you can grow your emergency fund. When I first started, I started with the $1,000. I still have my $1,000 in a savings account. And then I moved up to $10,000. And I actually just created a video on that. So go back and watch it. So don't think that you have to start big. You do not have to start big. The whole point is for you to start now and to create a plan. And of course, just like anything else, you will grow. Okay. The next thing on the list is investing. I knew absolutely nothing about investing until probably a couple years ago. And it's so funny. I'm a teacher, and I started out teaching a couple things, but I ended up in technology. And just recently, the past 3 years, I ended up teaching business classes where I'm teaching students personal finance and investing. And it's so funny how things are just coming full circle, but maybe I'm going to do a blog post about how that happened. But investing is something you definitely want to start early with. So think about investing into some stocks, mutual funds, ETFs. Definitely read up on investing and get started as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Even when your child is first born, I would recommend that you start opening an account and investing for that child. Okay, so that's another recommendation or tip. And then lastly, sinking funds. Oh my goodness, you all. Sinking funds has completely changed my life. Completely. I would say more so than the emergency fund, because I find that I don't tend to go into my emergency fund, but the sinking funds is something you're going to be using, and I think it's just been helpful, more helpful than the emergency fund. So if you don't have sinking funds, and basically these are just funds where you save for things that you know are going to happen. Like, your child is going to have a birthday every year. You know you're going to have to get Christmas presents every year. So things that you know are going to happen. You know your car is going to need maintenance. So you want to start these different sinking fund accounts for these things. Start saving so that when it comes up, you already have the money. You know you want to go on vacation. So these are the things that you need to do. And I use SoFi vaults for majority of my sinking funds. You can also use Capital One for your sinking funds. That's a good one. I'm just trying to see here. Those are probably my two main ones that I will use because I have multiple sinking funds. Now I have a video on my sinking funds that I did way back when. I probably need to do another one now that I'm trying to get a little bit better with my videos. But y'all, I cannot stress enough the importance of sinking funds. And I didn't even know what sinking funds were when I first started my financial freedom journey back in 2018. I had never heard the word, and I didn't know what it was. And now I'm like, what was I doing before? How could I have been, living without sinking funds? It's crazy. Now, as you start your plan today on, how you're going to start saving, investing, and creating these sinking funds, the key to this is to make sure that you're not dipping into your savings or your investments or your sinking funds, so you want to try your best not to. Now, that's not to say you won't ever have to, because obviously you will, but you want to try your best not to, and that's going to be the key. Now, I want to take you guys over to nationaltoday.com because I was reading an article and I want you guys to look at these statistics. I cannot believe some of them. Now, if you guys want to check out this article, feel free. It has some great information about the history of National Financial Awareness Day. It also has a timeline to kind of show you when the first bank card was created, when the first credit card was created or introduced as well. But here are the numbers that I want us to look at. So I'm going to scroll down so we can look at these statistics. First up, right here, you guys, it says 58% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved. Y'all, this was so me back before I started my journey. It was crazy because I found that I was moving money to my savings account. Let's say I moved $50 to my savings account one day. Literally 2 days later, I was moving the money back into my checking account. I absolutely had no savings, and the little money that I did save, I ended up using it right away. So 58%, only 58% of us, 58% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved. So that's something for us to think about. You want to start at 1,000 or whatever your goal is, but you want to try to increase that so that you have more money saved to fall back on in case of an emergency or in case of another pandemic, right? Because a lot of us found that we were out of jobs at this time, and it was just very hard to live, of course. Next up, it says 8% of U.S. citizens believe they will never recover from the recession. Y'all, if this were back in 2018 or before 2018, before I started my journey, I don't know if I would have been able to recover. I mean, the price of gas, the price of food, the price of everything, I don't know if I would have been able to make it. And at the time, I have a child right now, he's 15, but I'm just thinking if he were smaller and this recession hit, and I was living, paycheck to paycheck like I was, and not having a savings and so forth, having the credit card debt, I don't know if I would have been able to recover either. But 8% believe that they will never be able to recover. This is why you need a plan starting today, you all. Do not wait. Make a plan, make it happen starting today. Next up, we have $2,000. So this is the average emergency savings for millennials in America, right? I'm surprised it's $2,000, to be honest, for millennials, but $2,000, y'all, that's simply just not enough. It is not enough. Even for me, I hit my $10,000 goal, but I'm going to continue to try to get higher and higher and higher on my emergency savings because I know it's not enough, especially now. It's just not enough. And depending on your family size, you have to think about that as well. So these statistics, y'all, when I read these, I'm just like, what? So the next one is 20%. 20%, this is the percent of Americans who don't save any of their annual income. Wow. Y'all, again, this was me. I tried to save in the past, but it just didn't work because guess what? I didn't have a budget. I didn't have a plan. before 2018. So it didn't work. It absolutely didn't work. So you guys, you have to make sure that you are saving something. Even if you start small, you have to save something. 50% of American households live paycheck to paycheck. Again, this was me living paycheck to paycheck. And I would actually say I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck. Y'all, I was living credit card to credit card. Okay? I would actually pay off, make a payment on my credit card. Let's say the payment was $100. Then I would turn around the next day or when it cleared and I would spend the $100. So I wouldn't even say I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was living credit card to credit card. And I was just doing that over and over and over again. But 50% of American households are living paycheck to paycheck. Honestly, I really don't know. Looking back, I don't know how I managed to do what I was doing. But that's what I was doing. That's what was normal. I didn't really even think about it. That's kind of what I learned, what I taught myself, and, just growing up and not having that education. And so that's what I was doing. So now I just want to create these videos, and I'm just hoping that someone is able to hear and listen and just try to make a change. We really need to make sure this next generation do not make the same mistakes that we made. So whether or not we're learning in school or not, I know that's a big thing. People are saying they're not teaching this in school, which is one of the reasons why I really enjoy what I'm doing now as far as teaching. I mean, I enjoyed what I was doing before, but I really like the topic now because I feel like it is helpful to our students, our young students that are growing up. Okay. The next statistic here is 32%. 32% of U.S. families maintain a household budget. The budget is the key, you all. Sinking funds and a budget is the key. I had no idea how much money I was spending every month. I had no idea how many bills I had and how much money total I was spending on bills every single month before I created a budget. I had no idea. It just really opened my eyes. I was like, wow, wait a minute. I have more bills than I have income. Or I was like, wow, wait a minute. I need to stop this subscription and save this money or whatever. So you really need to make a budget, and you really need sinking funds, y'all. Those are the two things I'm an advocate for: budget, sinking funds. The next one is $1 trillion. So this is the total credit card debt held by Americans. I totally believe it because I was one of those people, and I told you guys in my previous video that you can go back and watch. I had 13 credit cards this last time around where I paid them off. I paid off my credit cards once before, some years before that. I can't remember how many I had, but this last go around, I had 13 credit cards. 13. And they had a pretty good credit limit on there, on each card. So I totally believe this number, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So we have to get out of credit card debt, you all. And the way to do that, once again, is to create this plan starting today, you all. Make this budget, create these sinking funds, find a way to save, find a way to pay off your debt, put a little extra money on your debt. Increase your income. Find a way to increase your income. That's not going to just totally drain you, okay? Because you still want to be sane, right? So you don't want to totally be working 24/7. So find another stream of income that's not going to drain you while you work your full-time job. All right, the next statistic here is 44%. So this is the percent of Americans who don't have enough cash to cover a $400 emergency. Think about it. If you have a toothache and you need to go to the dentist to get your tooth pulled, let's say you don't have dental insurance. Even if you had dental insurance, you're still probably going to have something to cover out of pocket. So, what are you going to do? 44% don't have enough cash to cover an emergency that costs $400. That is really something to stop and think about. And again, you all, we really want to make this change, okay? The next statistic, it's a tongue twister, y'all. 24%. This is the percent of millennials who demonstrate basic financial literacy. So that means like 76% of our millennials do not know basic financial literacy. And I totally believe it because I was one of those kids. And I see the kids now in school. I teach middle school. They don't know. And frankly, in middle school, they don't really care. But it's so important. So we need to start, in middle school, in high school, wherever we need to start. And we need to start training these children. We need to train our children to know about financial literacy. So when they graduate high school, they are not like, what do I do? And they don't start putting themselves in debt, which is what I did straight out of high school, getting those credit cards that are offered to us in college. So that's one of the things we want to talk to the kids about. And I only got the credit cards because I wanted a free t-shirt, right? It's not even that I wanted the credit card, but I got it because I wanted whatever free item they were giving out. And then I started using and using and using. So you just have this debt that builds up, right? The next statistic here is 40% of student loan borrowers who aren't making payments. So there are 40% of student loan borrowers, if I can say the word, who aren't making payments. Again, I was one of those people. For a long time coming out of college, after I graduated, I did not make student loan payments. I just kept putting them on forbearance or whatever it was. And it's simply because I felt like, number one, it wasn't in my budget. I couldn't afford the payments. And number two, I just wasn't in the right state of mind financially to even know what I was doing and the consequences of not starting payments, right? So this is something we want to talk to our children about. We want them to try to, or we want to encourage them to try to get grants for college, to try to get scholarships for college, or even to try to work to make their own payments for college if they can, right? And the last one here says 68 cents. This is the amount saved by women in 2020 against $1 saved by men. So we want to make sure our women are educated, of course our men as well, but we want to make sure that we are saving. We just want to get our kids in a better place than we are currently if we are struggling. We don't want them to go do the same thing that we are going through, right? So I felt like this was a great article. Again, this is on nationaltoday.com. This is about Financial Awareness Day, which again is August the 14th, 2020. Now, I want you all that are still watching, you're still with me, to drop a key emoji below and comment, I'm ready. If you are ready right now to make your finances your top priority and to stop living paycheck to paycheck. So comment below for me. As always, I have a freebie for you guys that are still watching. This is a digital download that you can get in the comments below. If you want to keep track using this spending diary printable, then you can keep track of the money that you spend each day, Monday through Sunday, and that can kind of let you know what you need to cut out, what you need to change in your finances. Okay, also go ahead, you guys, check out my website, edupreneurdiaries.com. It is up and running right now. I also have 10% off for the month of August. Now I still need to upload some more digital downloads, but you guys can check it out and just come back to it occasionally. School has started, so I have less time to do what I really want to do with my website, but I am trying to get it to get more products up for you guys. Okay, so check it out. And lastly, don't forget, I have some hardcover diaries on Amazon, you guys, right now. Starting with the debt diary, which I really like because you can write down your debts and just kind of keep track of your progress as you're on your financial freedom journey. I also have a mindset diary, a millionaire diary, because I want us all to be millionaires. Open up those investment accounts right now, okay? I have a productivity diary, investment diary, money diary, and spending diary. So whichever one you want. And these are just blank lined notebook pages for you to write in. All right. So if you found this content helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time Edupreneur Diaries posts a new video. Thanks for watching, you all.